What about all of the innocent civilians that have died in Gaza during this conflict? And this is a question that is often asked when talking about the situation in the land of Israel. But check out this clip with Ben Shapiro over at Oxford. And the questioner asks him, saying that, well, you've condemned throughout the whole process, throughout the whole year, you've condemned you've expressed sympathy for all of the people that have passed away on the side of Israel. Do you equally condemn the acts of violence that Israel is doing on Hamas and all of the innocents that have died over there? Check out his answer. Check out his answer. It gets a little bit heated over here as well. Take a look.
You've spoken about this issue about Israel and Palestine a lot in recent interviews. You've rightly condemned the atrocities that occurred on October 7th to innocent Israeli civilians. I tried to find videos of you condemning the deaths of innocent Palestinian civilians at the hands of the IDF or Israel, but I couldn't find any.
Right, because
so
I don't draw moral equivalence.
I just wanted to ask you directly, will you condemn the deaths of innocent Palestinian civilians in the same way that you do innocent Israeli ones?
Absolutely not. And the reason I will not is because the killing is not done in the same way or with the same purpose. That's like saying that do I condemn that's like saying, will I condemn the person who murders a baby in their bed by burning them alive the same way that I condemn the police officer who's trying to arrest that person and accidentally kill someone in the process? Of course not. Those are not the same thing, not remotely.
But there have been innocent... do you not sympathize with the life of an innocent Palestinian child?
Of course I do. That's why Hamas should surrender today. Hamas should surrender today. This bullshit that it's Israel's responsibility to protect Gazan civilians in a way that Hamas doesn't have to protect Gazan civilians, or that what's happening right now is not the result of Hamas's terrorism and currently holding over 200 hostages, including babies, in custody. That's insane. Trying to draw a moral equivalence between people who are making targeted strikes against terrorists, who are hiding underground in tunnels deliberately, violating international law, in violation of the Geneva Conventions, holding the other side civilians underneath the ground while not providing their own people fuel, not providing them food, not providing them medicine, and that I'm supposed to equate Israel attempting to make targeted strikes with Hamas literally sending 2,000 terrorists across another nation's border and into civilian areas with no military goal, with murdering those civilians. Let me ask you, why exactly would you equate?
I'm asking you questions
well,
here, Mr.
you got several questions, so I'm asking. Honestly, I'm going to ask you the same question. Why would you?
I'm asking you the questions here. I find it really concerning that you're not prepared.
Why won't you answer the question?
I find it really concerning that you're not prepared to condemn. To even admit that it's sad when an innocent Palestinian child dies.
Of course it's sad. I just said it's sad.
In the same way that it's sad when an innocent Israeli civilian dies.
Of course it's
Why are those two not equally saddening to you?
I'm of course incredibly sad when anybody who's innocent dies, but it is not the same evil when somebody murders a baby in their crib as when someone tries to kill a terrorist and that terrorist is hiding behind the baby. That's not the same thing.
But innocent Palestinian children have lost their lives.
Of course they have, and Hamas should be blamed for all of that, and Hamas should surrender today. Will you call on Hamas to surrender?
Absolutely.
Okay, so then we're in agreement. Great.
Okay.
So I'm surprised and pleasantly surprised that she actually condemned Hamas and she called on Hamas to surrender. That's for sure. The whole moral equivalency game that is played on college campuses, especially even prestigious ones like Oxford, and in the media, that, well, there's innocent people in Israel dying and there's innocent people in Gaza dying, so that's equally bad. That doesn't hold much water. That is quite a silly argument to make. Yes, should we feel equally bad that there are innocent people dying? Absolutely. If an Israeli child or Gazan child or both innocent, then certainly their death is equally mourned. However, saying that the perpetrator of the death and the way in which the death came about is equal is quite a different thing. Hamas went into Israel and purposely went to execute as many civilians as possible, to take hostages, and they're still holding hostages. And so their target was civilians, and is civilians, always was civilians. And their own civilians, because even when they hide in their own area, they hide amongst their own civilians. They could care less about civilians. Israel, which tries to be as precise as possible in this small urban warfare sort of area, and unfortunately, accidentally kills innocent civilians as collateral damage, as collateral deaths, that is certainly not morally equivalent to what Hamas is doing. The fact that that could even be a consideration on the table and that you can equally be condemning of both sides is just ludicrous. I don't know where these people come from. Anyone? Can anyone help me where these people come from? If you like this content in general, please hit that subscribe button. But it's just ridiculous at this point.